All right, everybody, hello and welcome to Draft League Week 1, where we have a banger in store for you today. It's going to be the Odd Apples versus Rift Jobs. My name is IceFireEyed, and I'm joined by Lowacki this evening. How are you doing, Lowacki?
I'm doing very good. Just a nice little Friday afternoon where we get to finally watch the Odd Apples versus Rift Jobs today.
Absolutely. It's going to be a pretty banger of a matchup for us as I take a look at my notes here. On one side, we have the Odd Apples that are sitting at about a low diamond average, I would say, between like low plat, high plat, master, high emerald, and low diamond. I'd say that's about a mid to low diamond average, just because of that master really brings it up. But again, it's Draft League. It's all about having fun. And we're going to be expecting some pretty spicy picks to come out here. And then over for RJS, we have low emerald to high emerald with some diamonds thrown in as well. So these are going to be some pretty evenly matched teams as we get into this. And we're getting ready quite quickly here. The teams are almost ready. We're getting the last ready checks going. So what are you looking for? What are you looking forward to this evening, Lowacki?
I mean, quite frankly, I would love to see some entertaining plays and picks today because, once again, this is the Draft League. So hopefully they keep it fun and not just stick to full tryhard, which I would respect either way because it's going to be entertaining in one way, shape, or another. And I just want to see some fun.
Absolutely. The teams are fully readied up for drafts. That's what we're going to get into right at this moment. And it's going to be a good one. You know, we do have, if you haven't seen the changes to Draft League already for this season, it is full fearless. So if a team picks a champion, it can no longer be picked. But at the same time, there are 0 bans on the table for either side. So that is something to keep in mind as we get into this. Is a little bit of a delay here for a second. But overall, I mean, pretty exciting stuff. There is a slight tech issue happening. So we're going to get that handled real quick. Lowacki, what picks are you looking forward to seeing this evening?
I mean, it's sort of hard to say because I'm not exactly sure how exactly they are going to play, especially due to this being a relatively high rank coming from a man that is currently in bronze.
I
So
mean,
it can
yeah.
be extremely entertaining options of basically just all AP, all engage, all tank, or you can just see more normal picks of just, engage bot lane and playing safe everywhere else with scaling like a soul or maybe even a Cassante top with the match.
Yeah, I mean, there are some fun things that can be happening. I know that there's some interesting creations out there that some of these teams can come up with. So we'll have to see here as the links are being remade right now. And I mean, I always love a good tank top myself, because that's really where the fun is for me. I was a top tank player for a while. I've played every role, but my main was support. I just love tank tops because that's really where the influential things happen. I would say, like, yeah, you can have those fighting style of champions, those fighters and stuff, and there's explosive fireworks, but the team play when you get a tank is bar none some of the best you can get. So I'm excited to see what these teams come out with. And I mean, there's a lot of recognizable names. Big Fella Zane's been in a while. I've seen their name quite often. The Odd Apple I've seen quite often. Wame I think is a name that I recognize. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a really good time. All Out Potato as well. And first picking right off the bat for blue side is gonna be. It looks like they're hovering the Kog'Maw and they're. I got baited there by the blinking. I thought they locked it in
They
there.
could. They're holding it at this point. I would love to see the actual AP Kog'Maw that I've seen has been doing really good, and they do secure the Kog'Maw here today for the first pick for the blue team here, which is ODD.
Yeah, I'm for actually those teams are swapped. Hold on. It should be like this. That's better. So for RJS, they have selected to go for that early pick Kog'Maw, and exciting stuff. You know, Kog'Maw, like you said, there's that AP variant, there's the AD variant, there's different ways that you can go about playing this champion, and I think Braum is a really good pickup here to stop a lot of that just barrage from long distance. You have that shield that you can throw up for your ADC, make sure that they can stay alive, but there's just so many things that Kog'Maw is good at that we'll have to keep an eye on and see.
Ooh, and just a classic Braum Ashe bot lane here, which quite frankly is just never fun to play against, but it does produce some relatively good results. And sticking with the ice here, we might be seeing a Sejuani pick for RGS.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that pick at all. It has great non-committal engage coming out of the jungle. A pretty healthy clear. It's a little slower than some of the faster picks. I prefer the tree myself, and there's only one acceptable tree in the jungle, and that is Ivern. If you see a Maokai in the jungle, it is not a good pick. I am sorry. If it's in your ranked matches and you lose, it's not my fault. It's just the rules.
I was going to disagree with you there, but now, quite frankly, Maokai's not exactly the greatest there at this point in time. They nerfed him after the very good support run he had. But
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things there that, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Maokai. Zilean, though, picked up, I'm assuming that's going support. It could go mid. You could pull out the,
go top.
Please don't send it top. If we're gonna see Zilean outside of the support role, bring back Bjergsen, bring it back in the mid lane. Just that pocket pick pulled out in the direst of times kind of situation where oh, the team just like it's so close we don't know if it's gonna happen. But then Bjergsen with his Zilean to clutch it out in game 5 is always a beautiful pick. So I can respect it in the mid lane, but I would want to see it in the support role. And to match jungles here, it is going to be the Volibear. So the Lightning Bear versus the Ice... I don't... Boar, I think is what it is?
Yes.
It's a boar. So yeah, an Ice Boar. So Thunder Bear versus Ice Boar. Who wins? We'll find out here in just a few minutes as we get along through draft. We still need top and we still need mid. It's going to be the LeBlanc mid into Orianna. Excellent pickup there. I think that's one of the best ones if you're looking to play aggressive in that role.
I most certainly agree. And also against an Orianna, you're allowed a lot of movement away from the skill shot to the Orianna, which is absolutely killer in the mid lane if you just don't play it right. Or you just get hit by one or two, you get hit by everything. And it looks like a Renekton pick for the top lane. And there's the K'Sante.
Okay.
I call it coming.
We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it, Lowacki.
Yes, we do.
Do you want to go over it, or do you've experienced
I would love
it?
To.
You take
I would
that
love
one.
to go over this one. So, ironically enough, there's an item banned on K'Sante at this point in time. He is not allowed to use Moonstone Renewer because I'm pretty sure he just heals and shields infinitely, and he is absolutely busted. So they actually banned him for all these small little draft leagues going on.
Yeah, that's that is not something that we want to see. Yeah, it's Kasante's already a busted champion, but whenever you see something like that, then it's like, no, we don't want to see that here. So we're gonna see the K'Sante versus Renekton matchup. I want to focus in on this mid lane though. LeBlanc versus Orianna is very skill based matchup. If you can land the chains from LeBlanc, you can dish out a lot of damage because you can then use the sigil to dish out more damage along with the distortion. But it really comes down to, can you land the chains and after level 6, do you land the double chains? Because that double chains, one, you're going to get a long stun off of it. You're going to get a lot of damage off because then you can combo sigil and distortion. And you can also get auto weaving in and out too. For Orianna, it's all about do you have your dancing shoes on? Did you put on your tap shoes? Did you put on your ballet shoes? Because that's the only thing that you're going to be doing this game is dodging skill shots. You're going to be dodging Zilean bombs. You're going to be dodging Sejuani ultimates. You're going to be dodging Kog'Maw missiles. And you're going to be dodging chains from LeBlanc.
and you're also going to be dodging a absolutely humongous alligator, which is not fun to say the least.
No fun at all.
On the sides of
that was a mispick. I know. So
okay,
client draft was going on, and one of the players accidentally locked Elise instead of, I'm assuming, Renekton. Because if you think about it, way back in the day, there was a combo called Renekton Elise that was a devastating combo for your solo queue fantasies. Just basically, you get to either stun up with Renekton to guarantee it was the Elise E. It was her web, basically, that she shoots out, stuns you. It's super high damage, so... with that, though, we're going to send it to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be here in-game for Game 1 between Rift Jobs and the TheOddApple's Odd Apples. So don't touch those browsers, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere, because we will be right back. Alrighty, everybody, hello and welcome back to game one between RJS and Odd, where it's going to be an interesting time here. We're going to be starting off with a Ocean Dragon, and what looks to be just a simple 5 point to start things off, with Braum being a little bit late, but it's not going to really matter for anything. We can see that ward going down in the bot side to make sure that, you know, hey, Braum's not invading, because Braum has one of the best invades in the game if you can land their Q. So something to keep an eye on as we move on into the game about who lands and how much damage they can get off.
Correct. For this earlier part, I'm not really expecting too horribly much, just very standard 5 point plays. But we might actually be seeing some movement.
Ooh, well, maybe a late invade.
We are a late invade. But
just gonna get
ward
the Raptor
does go
ward.
down.
Yeah, just the Raptor ward. That's a really good ward for tracking jungle. Sejuani's gonna counter it with a red ward of their own. We might actually hold
a little
on.
Deep of a ward.
No, they're gonna go for the.
Oh, they're splitting up. They do not know that Casante's there. And it looks like we're about to have a fight real here. And there goes Casante, actually. Volibear and Casante both fight in the top lane.
Already, Big Sugar getting that electrocute proc off, but we're gonna have a fight in the jungle here as we get things off. Ammonarch gets stunned up with the Renekton starting the W, and the double flash over the wall means then Ammonarch is gonna go to first blood to the Sejuani. Orianna's first to move in onto this. OddApple's down to half health, both so is Big Fella Zane and Pop Sock Boss Man, but Wame has to flash away, and that is gonna be a huge win to start things off for RJS.
Oh my goodness, I was not expecting the double flash there to secure that kill, but it worked wonders. And with that, you're going to be messing up the tempo a little bit while also securing one kill for the Sejuani. So by the time she does her full clear and back, she should have at least a good chunk of an item here.
Absolutely. It's going to be... we can see the flipping between top side and bot side here. As also there's some trading in the mid lane. These Zillion bombs are going to hurt because they can just constantly throw them out. They should be getting tier early, so they can never have any mana issues, and they will go for, like, I'm hoping for like the pseudo damage build. That way, like, Malignance is going to be really good, I think, to try and get that, try to get your ult back a lot, because everybody knows Zillion means you just get extra life. As Big Sugar dashes and misses the chains. Oh, you cannot be missing those point blank chains.
Correct. If he hit that chain, it more than likely would have been secure to kill. But all around, we're just seeing some nice little trades. The Alligator Boss Man is trading with OddApple in the top lane. And really, that Zillion, those bombs are just really pestering, even with the stun as well. It's just so annoying to
Another slice and dice forward for the Renekton. OddApple's, I mean, they're trading back, but you have to remember the Renekton has an innate heal that makes it easy for him to trade like that in lane and get more of it back.
Yes. And then, in addition to that, we actually do have the Volibear is actually top side compared to the Sejuani on the bot side. So we're going to actually be seeing a little bit of a different prio
Another
here.
slice and dice in, and that's going to be the Call of the Meek as well. The pushback from OddApple popping the ghost, as it's just going to be one auto away. The Renekton having to dash away. The Q3 misses from
but the Volibear is there.
That's going to be that for a second. But with Volibear here, Ammonarch trying to make up for what they missed out. Now, the Renekton doesn't have flash, but still has that slice and dice back up and available, had 250 health, and it's not gonna matter as Ammonarch's just gonna help clear and push out this wave.
That could have been absolutely detrimental to the side of RGS, actually. Apologies, still getting used to the names here. But it was a very good escape coming out from the Renekton top lane. Mr. Bossman, he is just having the moves. That is the one thing the Gator has, is a lot of movement and kill potential as well.
Big Fella Zane's going to jump in onto Muhammad, but it's not going to matter as Big Sugar's too low health to actually make a difference in this lane. And because of the ball, they can't really trade. Now the chains aren't even going to, they're going to connect, but not proc the stun onto Ammonarch. And that's just going to be that in the mid lane, excuse me. Overall, I mean, the first blood going over to the side of RJS, but OddApple's are making a really good comeback in lanes right now.
Yes. So all around, they're playing it perfectly normal. All of them are relatively pushed ahead, And with the dragon coming up already, and with grubs coming up in the next, I don't see that time frame anywhere. I believe in the next 30-odd seconds, give or take.
Yeah, about.
We should be seeing some more moves around. Volibear is on this bot side here. However, we are seeing a slight fight here as well. However, it was a lot smaller than I thought it would have been. But I am anticipating a dragon push here, just due to how much the Ashe and Braum are actually pushing this wave into the tower, and Volibear being on the bot side, but he could also just go for full clear, going back to the top side, and then making a play on grubs later.
There's going to be a slow push here for TheOddApple, as the stun is going to land onto TheOddApple. They're going to get the Sejuani up there, and that's going to be the proc of the Sejuani E as well. They're not going to be able to get the kill, though, as TheOddApple was able to get under tower safely. Not quite the damage yet that they are needing to kill off that K'Sante, but what does happen is it does get them full access to grubs, and there's nothing that this Volibear can do. They can show up, there's just not enough damage yet, and K'Sante's too low health to really make a difference in that fight.
Correct, yes. And then on top of that, what the Volibear actually did was back immediately after clearing his wolves.
They're going to go for it anyways.
Now knows
he has health, but with the Slice and Dice forward, the Renekton ultimate also being used to stun onto the Orianna. That should be a kill, as they just need to get a little bit closer, but it's not going to happen. They have to flash away too. Big Fella's ain't going over the wall on the other side, trying to catch out TheOddApple. No one has died yet, surprisingly enough, as the ultimate finally expires from the Renekton. It does not matter. The Slice and Dice do the flash forward for the double kill onto the Orianna. This crocodile is hungry and eating.
Oh yes, the Crocodile made some very good plays there, mainly just playing his positioning right and actually getting onto the Orianna, getting her very, very low, and then eventually killing the Volibear as well, I believe. And all around, a very good cleanup of the fight. The only negative I have for our Gator friend right now is the CS difference. But, I mean, with 2 kills and an assist, I say it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we can take a look at the gold difference here and see what it's sitting at. So there's actually 100 gold in the pockets of the Renekton over that of the K'Sante. So if you're Renekton, you're happy with that. But yeah, you definitely do need to be catching up on CS here. And during that fight, TheOddApple was able to pick up the kill onto the Sejuani, as well as Big Sugar here is getting aggressive back onto this Orianna, having picked up that assist, but down almost 20 CS as well. You're starting to hurt a little bit in terms of just the CSing gold that you do need to keep up on. You can't just farm champions, you also have to farm minions in order to make sure that you can have a good time in the game. There's the chains landing. That's going to force the flash out of the Orianna.
That, quite frankly, the flash I don't believe was fully necessary, but it's always better to be safe than sorry, especially with 4 members of RGS here in the river. It most certainly could have been entirely detrimental and ruin his entire flow. The only negative that I have for both of the mid laners right now is neither of them are playing aggressive enough to get their Magi Soul Stealer up any stacks. The only one that does have one at this point in time is the LeBlanc. And with that, you just have to play extremely aggressive, but you obviously don't want to die, of course. So there's a very fine line between those 2 extremes.
Absolutely is. This K'Sante is getting quite a bit of health, has that Bramble Vest completed, had it during the last fight as well. As they have the Sheen now, they're really starting to pump out this damage, and the power that Renekton had over this lane is all but gone at this point now. This Bramble Vest is huge in keeping this Renekton from being able to heal up.
Yes, I mean, the importance of Bramble Vest is... and a cleanse coming out from the actual...
that stun from the Renekton is huge. They're going to get a double Slice and Dice on top, but it's not going to matter. Big Fella Zane is also going to get the ultimate onto Mwame, and that should be a kill. Yes, Sejuani is going to secure that onto the Orianna. A huge turnaround there in the mid lane, as in the top lane, Renekton got a huge play off onto the K'Sante, forcing them out of lane, going a little bit too aggressive there on the K'Sante.
Yes, however, the TP is there, and he is using it at this point in time, so he shouldn't miss too horribly much CS, but obviously maybe a little bit. And that was some very smooth moves coming out from our friendly Gator man. We might be seeing some down here today.
Just a little bit. The Kog'Maw will win out on this. They just have more damage on the side of RJS than they do on Odd. All Out Potato is on the Ashe, and Ashe is not one for damage. They're utility ADC. They're there for vision. They're there for their arrow. That's it. That's all they're there for.
And their slows all around. It's an intriguing character to say the least. Not one of my favorites, but she gets the job done one way or another.
We can see that the junglers were having a little bit of a hello there in the top lane for a second. It's been an active map so far.
Yes, indeed. And I do quite enjoy these active maps because you just see a bunch of fun,
the speed up from Zilean is actually going to force All Out Potato and the revives. That means Bandit's going to want to continue fighting. They're going to get the stun. They're going to get the resurrect. All Out Potato is on a sliver of health as Bandit is looking for the kill onto RJS. The Ashe arrow misses. It's RJS still goes down. The minion damage is enough to secure it. Orianna is down here though. Bandit is at half health. Prince is here having to flash away. Bandit flashes, is going to get away from the Orianna, and then in the top side we have Renekton going forward with the distortion forward by LeBlanc, but the chains are not going to be able to lock up on the stun, and that means that the last grub is going to go over, so it's going to be a 5-1 grub take for the side of RJS because of the fight in the top side.
That is correct. It's going to continue. And also a very good fight in the bot lane. But now we're back to it.
Slice and dice forward. The all out from K'Sante is going to just absolutely delete the Renekton.
That is an unhealthy amount of damage, kids. Don't do K'Sante when you get older. That is very dangerous to play against, unfortunately. But with that, good kill. Yes, indeed. It's very early to say a lane swap with 0 plates coming out from the bot and mid lane, but one finally being secured.
Well, I mean, because the Orianna roamed down, it was more beneficial to keep them there. Ashe can pick up the waves in mid, and then they can swap back whenever they crash the waves and they're bouncing back. So that's why they're doing that. It makes sense. Just it's a lane swap just out of convenience for the time, so they can still maximize the amount of gold on the map. Now it's all about just pushing forward and making sure that they can get going. Big Sugar gets locked up, gets a bit of damage down onto them, but trades it right back onto the Orianna in the top side. OddApple, just light trades happening across the board right now. Ooh, Shockwave point blank onto the LeBlanc as they were both in the middle there, and because of that, the chains miss. Orianna's going to get the better of that trade overall. Really well played there.
Yes, very good move. Sorry, I just got gifted ice cream for some reason, so gonna have to eat it before it gets too warm on me.
Absolutely, you cannot let ice cream get warm because then it's just, you know, milk. But Big Fella
Correct.
Zane, they're trying to go for the scuttle as well as try to execute a dive on the bot side as K'Sante's just taking top side. So this is really just like, we're gonna give up top side and play for bot side here. Sorry, Renekton, but you have outlived your usefulness. Push out means that, ooh, we have fights across here.
We have a massive fight
is really getting taken down. The flash away by Big Fella Zane. Bandit gets stunned up, insta cleanse out, but it's going to be the Ashe arrow that also locks them up for a few seconds. No deaths just yet. Zilean still has his ultimate. We'll have to keep that in the back pocket there as we keep an eye on what's happening. Now LeBlanc has arrived. Chains land, but the stun also traded back onto Big Sugar. Nothing crazy just yet as everybody's just fighting over this Infernal Dragon. No one wants to give it over yet. And another distortion forward means that these Zilean bombs are hurting a little bit. They're keeping everybody at bay, and it's also vision. But it's just a stalemate right now.
Yes. Quite frankly, you don't see stalemates like this most of the time. But we're seeing some fun here right now.
Ooh,
unfortunately, no.
There. It's not going to be enough to really do anything because Bandit's too low health and doesn't have a lot of mana. But it's all about just delaying them so they can have everything done. And then in the top side, Renekton just gets deleted there with extended trading. Big Fella Zane now in the middle of everything. Amnarch tries to ult over the wall to get away, has to flash instead, but Big Fella Zane is going to be the first one to die. Prince is now being focused up there. The Shockwave lands onto one. It's going to be the Resurrect onto Bandit as JFS is slain. It's a 1-for-1 currently thanks to the Zilean ultimate. And with the jungler going down, that means that Dragon is not available for them to take, but they are going to get the topside turret at the same time, so you have to still say worth. As now Bandit's going to go right back into this. Mame has to play this careful, does not have the auto attack range that of Bandit, so has to back away under the tower, and I think that's going to be it for that fight.
It most certainly should be. I would be very surprised if more was happening, but a lot of fights happening out. We have the Cassante killing alone in the top as well. He actually has a 300 gold bounty at this point in time. And then just the trades back and forth in the bot lane.
I mean, and for RJS, this is a comp that needed to get ahead early. Because of the Renekton. Like, you're not going to have this strong top laner now to play around in this mid game. Kog'Maw's not going to be really available for damage until the late game. LeBlanc hasn't gotten the snowball that she needs in order to take over the game like a normal LeBlanc would. So really now the game is on a timer and they just have to survive long enough and hope that LeBlanc and that Kog'Maw can get online sooner than they're expecting to try to dish out some damage. They are going to distortion over the wall, but look, they do need 0 damage. The Ash Arrow misses, the heal comes out, but they're now turning onto the jungler, the Braum ult as well. They're gonna land a lot of damage onto All Out Potato, but it's just not enough. Now the Renekton has teleported in, flash away by the Braum. The Slice and Dice only gets the first one as the stun. Now they're gonna start comboing back onto this Renekton, and there is just 0 damage. Now Cassante is here. Hello, everybody. They're gonna get the resurrect onto the Renekton. The Crocodile is going to get a second life, but is that a life you really want? That's all you can do is run away. Instead of going forward, you're going backwards, and now Cassante is going all out onto Bandit. There's nothing they can do. There's no more resurrect. Pop Blossom, there's only a little bit left, and there she goes. I mean, Kog'Maw, yeah, you get 2. But with everybody still alive, are you going to be able to get on top of Prince? No, they're too fast right now. Oh, the stun does come out. TheOddApple's now on top, still has that all out available to them. Just now wearing off, and now it's going to be the re-engage. Renekton has a little bit of health. Is going to get the heal up enough to get the kill onto the Braum. TheOddApple now is runaway, going back in, trying to get the kill onto the Prince. Yes, they do manage to get Prince. They do get the Prince of Time. And now they just have to get away. The healing is coming through a little bit. They don't have the damage there just yet. Now the Renekton goes back in now. Does to get the Slice and Dice and the Cold to finally take down the Cassante, which should not actually equate out to the Dragon.
Wow. I mean, all around that fight just took incredibly, incredibly long to where no one could actually gain any long-term usefulness, just like Dragon. So Johnny was trying to take it, but, you know, just got entirely taken over. ODD stuck there for a little bit too long, and it ended up becoming really negative for them, except they still got the Dragon. So, right around even trade for both teams there.
Which is all you really want. You just want as many even trades as you can get.
Correct, especially due to the fact you are ahead at this current time. As long as you aren't making too many mistakes, you should, in theory, win, except for the scalability of Kog'Maw.
Yeah, that's the big difference. Is can you win the game before Kog'Maw gets to be too big? LeBlanc just isn't doing damage yet, and that's the big key thing that LeBlanc needs to get online, or there's no chance that they actually win this game. If they can actually get what they want. Is here's the Renekton going in. Orianna doesn't have flash, but does have the speed up from the W to get away, and that means that's just Renekton, again, not being able to blow up the squishy mid laner that's super immobile. With Orianna Ball, she can just clear waves from a safe distance, and there's nothing that this Renekton can do until a wave arrives. And even then, I really don't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable as the Renekton to really be able to dive the turret. Yes, should be able to get the turret. Here's the distortion actually goes over, and they get the scuttle from Big Fella Zane. They had to use the smite for it, but now the turnaround, Cassante's going to be TPing in. Oh, I'm sorry, it's actually going to be the Orianna. The Resurrect's going to come through for the Sejuani, but that's really not who you want to be using the Resurrect on, because they're just going to die anyways. Now the double distortion onto the mid laner is going to proc the Seraph, so they're going to be able to get away, but overall, you can see there's just not enough damage from the squad just yet. Bandit has 1 stack, but it's not going to be enough as TheOddApple's getting, I would say, toothpicked down at that point. Is they're going to get the stun on to, and the all-out kidnap on the Bandit. Bandit, who usually should be doing the steals, instead gets stolen themselves.
Wow. That Cassante did work in that fight. Just pulling out that Kog'Maw is absolutely killer for RGS here today. And we're having one more fight with this Orianna getting pretty dang low. But just a gator is not enough to kill ya. all
I mean,
around very intriguing fights happening, quite frankly.
those boards hurt that he's using because they are like plastic and they are hard plastic, because they gotta float on the ocean and the pools and stuff, and they're not light. Like, it still hurts to get hit by one, but it's just not enough damage yet to kill the Orianna. Orianna has a spiky metal ball and magic. Like, it's still just gonna
Correct. You're just a gator with anger issues,
Yes.
It doesn't exactly add up. And with this Cassante is just absolutely murdering the LeBlanc. She just
when your
does not have
Cassante
enough
out
damage
damages
to do
your
anything.
assassin mid laner. All Out
That's
Potato has
a
to dash
balanced
away
character.
though. That is character development. That's all it is. It's for writing the villain arc later on for LeBlanc. Whenever they come back and win the game. It's because of that moment right there, because they got out damaged by Cassante.
It's going to be a flashback for that, and then like 2 extra episodes it's going to take for us to actually get to the killing.
And that's not to add. That's not to also count the 3 episodes of powering up before it, where we're just yelling at each other.
And the one who screams loudest wins. So
Yeah.
I'll start us off.
No,
Screams.
it's either the one who yells louder or the one with either blonde or now what is it, neon blue hair, whichever one has the bigger hair
or
and the blonde
white,
hair.
technically, I'm pretty sure is another one as well.
Whatever it is now. I'm back in the day when it was gold. So
It's very convoluted these days. I have not paid attention to that series in quite some time. But right now, Baron is up. However, you usually don't see it for the first couple minutes when it comes out. We're actually having an engage happening.
Hold on. Ammonarch's in no trouble. Just walks back. JFS, though, I don't know why you're there. You have no business being there. Go back to your Ashe. Make sure they're not going to get soloed out by Bandit. Your jungle is fine. You guys can focus down this bot lane, trade it for the top. Overall, like, this is a very even map state right now.
Yes, although it will shift a little bit due to 2 towers being down on the sides. On the sides of RGS here, and one getting very, very low on the side of ODD. They already have one gone, one half, and some fun stuff happening in the mid lane here. Which is just relatively normal stuff.
I mean,
ooh, good dodge.
Ashe is like, like toothpicks, and like Kog'Maw right now is like safety pins with how much damage they do to these tanks. So hopefully we'll see that pick up a little bit. But yeah, Orianna doesn't have the safety of a tower anymore, so it has to be a little bit more careful. Chemtech Soul is going to be the Rift. So there's definitely should be fighting around this. They shouldn't just be allowed to start it for free.
Correct, yes. We're going to be seeing all waves get pushed up, maximizing that gold intake just before they shift in. Orianna's actually backing to try and secure some items.
A little bit of damage. Oh, the Ashe arrow misses, and that's huge. That is a big, big whiff there. Now All Out Potato gets jumped on by the double distort from Big Sugar. And that's going to be half their health bar, but still not enough to really put them in danger. As now the chains do not land once again. They have to distort away because even though there are tanks, there's just too much damage.
They have too much kill potential, yes.
And now Orianna backed is TPing in, has this still only is sitting on the Seraphs, but with those faded ashes, they're gonna have a decent amount of damage. The Shockwave is available. They have all the ults except for the Ashe Arrow. For Odd
correct,
right
and
now.
that one should come up mid-fight.
Though,
however, JFS is a little bit too deep.
Renekton in the middle, gonna get stunned up. JFS still alive, finally goes down to Prince. And it's gonna be now just a fight over the dragon. It's gonna go over to the side of Odd. Prince flashing out has, Odd. Okay, we're just gonna go all out into the middle of the team. That's gonna be 1 down, so trade 2 for 1 currently, 2 for 2 now. Ammonarch has to get a slight shield from the Orianna. Big Sugar is quite low and is on the wrong side of the rift. And with the distort missing, that's gonna be the clone to try to dissuade them, but they know exactly where Big Sugar is. There's nowhere that they're able to go.
Will not be able to escape
distorting
here.
Over the wall.
Was that another ult?
Back, get the kill onto the Ashe. Oh my! Well played by the LeBlanc. That is a slippery magician there.
Yes, indeed, and that was the best play you could have done at that point in time because you knew either way you were gonna die. Might as well take one with you and secure some gold on your way to the afterlife.
That's like going to the magic castle, sitting in the close-up room where they do like the sleight of hand magic, and then you think it's in one hand, and no, it's actually behind your ear when you're in the back of the audience and they're nowhere near you. That's how that happens.
The biggest of misdirections, as we call it.
Exactly.
And with that, the game state has most certainly shifted a little bit more towards ODD's favor right here, but it still ended up relatively even once again, just because, I mean, kills are going back left and right. I mean, the only main positive that we had for the ODD on why I say they won that was because of the dragon being secured. They have 2 at this point in time, and RGS has 1. So it can become a massive difference later on.
I'd say, yeah, it's a 3 for 2 with a dragon. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but oh no. This is the point in time where Orianna does have to be careful because Renekton does have the damage. Smartly did not use the ultimate, so still has that online for themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the ultimate usage on Orianna is absolutely necessity.
Yes.
I just stopped eating ice cream at the wrong time. Jesus, that hurts. Okay.
They're going to have to, so, I mean, we're going to have to keep an eye on Dominus, on LeBlanc's ultimate to make sure that they can do the double distorts or the double chains. Like, those are going to be crucial. As now Prince is looking for a double time bomb. Not going to land it as Ammonarch is running in as well, but that is a lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage coming out from the Cogmos this time.
Items. Bandit has 2 items and is now looking to steal your health bar.
That is correct. And then I will say, to counter that, we have the Orianna has 2 and the boots and the Mejai's right now at full stack. So she is most certainly a very big kill threat as well, except she just keeps getting dove by that Gator friend. And all around, I'm expecting us to start setting up for some Baron. Every team is just trying to maximize the gold usage they're getting and just make some money.
It's going to be up to these squads to see what we decide to do. So it's actually going to be a Mikhail's first for Zilean, realizing that they need to keep their team out of the stuns. It's going to be up to Bandit. And yes, Bandit has cleanse, but whenever it's down, if they get stunned up, they're just going to die. So you have to be very, very careful. Big Sugar, though,
LeBlanc is going a little bit in. However, because Sante's popped Ghost, and he is chasing that woman down.
Yeah, I mean, LeBlanc's going to get away, no problem. But that is a lot of damage going out onto All Out Potato. There's the Sejuani ultimate onto JFS. JFS is not long for this world, is slowed up. Does have 1 time bomb, is going to live. But that was a lot of damage, and Bandit is fully online and ready to go.
Oh, yes. I mean, for Bandit, just as soon as you get the Rage Blade, I say you're online, but you also have the Bork as well, it is absolutely killer for anyone at this point in time.
They're actually going to start going back in. Ammonarch got stunned up, is just getting chunked out. That was like 4 autos from Bandit.
Another bad time for ice cream. I need to stop doing that. Okay.
That was an insane amount of damage off of those auto attacks.
Yes, indeed. I mean, he's not even at the full build yet at this point in time. He's just absolutely shredding. Look at the speed and damage on that tower. 4 auto shots where it looked like about 400 health, give or take, on that tower is not fun.
Cassante and Ammonarch, OddApple and Ammonarch are in a little bit of a pickle themselves. Bandit is here. I don't think they realized Bandit would be here. OddApple's already down to half health. There's nothing that they are able to do. Tries to get stunned away. Tries to all out away as well. They're gonna get away. Are they? No! The Renekton with the slice and dice. Call the Meek to get the kill. Flash away from the Volibear. They're gonna be able to get under tower, but are they really safe? JFS is back down to half health with this. That is just another kill. Bandit taking only a single tower shot. Now it's trying to be turned around by All Out Potato, but it's just not enough damage. It's an Ashe. You're an Ashe. You don't do damage. Now Big Sugar does miss the chains and double story. And that is a shockwave for the kill. Now it's all up to All Out Potato on the spot side to keep Ammonarch alive.
However, unfortunately, he just does not have the damage for that right here. His best bet is to just keep the blue team here, RJS, onto this bot side. Allow them to take the dragon, but just keep pushing those waves and getting the gold. So hopefully you stick relatively even in this trade. Even though it was down, I believe, 3-1, give or take, or 2-1? 2-1, I believe.
It was 3-2, I think, under that tower. Whatever it was tower for dragon trade. with a kill also going over to RJS. So overall, I think that still favors RJS because you've evened up the dragons. That's not a timer you're worried about right now as well. And it's all about just keeping it, tamped down a bit and just play out the game. Keep Bandit in the backline safe, because if they get caught out, they get stunned up, shockwave. If they get, hit by the Ash Arrow, like, these are going to hurt. So it's all about just keeping Bandit alive and allow them the time and the space to dish out the damage, and they're just going to win the game.
Yes, that is the main thing that you need to give ADCs these days, is just time and freedom. As long as they have those things, they should be able to make beautiful plays and absolutely kill whoever gets in their way. As we're seeing with this Kog'Maw here, he's had all the time, and he has Terminus built now. So we should be seeing a lot more damage coming out from him, and he's already doing so much.
The thing about it is his... Ooh, hold on.
That was an ult. And a cleanse.
The Orianna flashed forward trying to get the shockwave, but it doesn't land. I like how they're still trying to make plays, because they need to make plays. They realize that they're losing the game. Oh, that was a beautiful Sejuani ultimate to land. Now, Big Fella Zane's in the middle of it. They're actually getting chunked down quite low. JFS is going to be the first to fall. There's the flanking Renekton. The flanking Crocodile is finally going to come online, dish out some damage. Is it going to be enough? It is 5v3 right now. Ammonarch has to all out to try to get away, as well as TheOddApple just doesn't have damage right now to dish out anything, and Big Sugar's going to pick up Ammonarch. TheOddApple does pick up one back, does miss the Q3 though, and that means they're going to have to run away now. Big Sugar's still here, has the chains, doesn't miss. They have the distortion forward. They're going to land it on one. There it is, shut down, and an almost ace. Only Bandit going down, and that means that should be Baron. They should be able to take Baron without dying here. They have enough of the health bars. Except for Big Sugar. Be able to
take that. Big Sugar will more than likely get smacked up a little bit and have to disappear, as he is doing right now. But all around, very good from RJS. We had the Flanking Gator absolutely do work in the back lines there. And also Sejuani just eating up front there. Oh,
perfect. Perfect Zillion ult to make sure that the Renekton would live. As the Ash Arrow came in, the teleport from the LeBlanc just to make sure that it would be secured. And that is Baron for the side of RJS, as they are now commanding the largest lead of the game at about 3.2 thousand gold.
Yes, and that is a very big shift from what we have been seeing, where the most lead I've been seeing was about 1.2, 1.5k in the hands of Odd here. So the fact that it actually shifted means it was very good. I mean, it was an ace to only, I believe, one death. We had Hunter in the bot lane get killed, but that's a worthy sacrifice, quite frankly. And why was Red Buff gaining so much health there?
It reset. They
reset of all places.
They've lowered it, and it's still sometimes a little wonky. But yeah, that was just because it reset. It's because if you actually keep it out of you and it doesn't hit for a certain amount of time, it will reset itself.
Okay,
that was Big Sugar got taken really low by Orianna.
Yeah, so I honestly had no idea they made those changes to the buffs, or I believe all minions in all creeps in general, which very intriguing choice. But all around, we were just seeing the top lane's right around back to even, except for the Gator here has a 200 gold shutdown, so we love to see the Cassante take that gold back.
Yeah, and they're still moving forward, and for them to have taken Baron buff, they've gotten nothing for it right now, which is a huge loss. Now, All Out Potato has to be very careful with Prince here.
Because even the Zillion is doing a lot to him.
Yeah, they are going to try to dive All Out Potato here. Flash Cleanse immediately to get away from that. They're going to take the turret, as in the bot side, that's going to force the backs as well. JFS has no one to jump to. Is not stunned up just yet, but that is a lot of damage. And now with TheOddApple here, they're going to be able to keep them at bay. But oh man, Big Sugar just cannot stand up to this Orianna right now.
However,
that is very unfortunate.
Due to the fact he had the Baron buff there, he was actually pushing out the wave and holding it perfectly fine, quite frankly. Even though Orianna's clear speed is just absurd, you can't do much when the minions are just so much tankier.
Yeah, and with Dragon now being up, you can see the aggressive stance that RJS is taking over Odd in this bot lane river. We're going to see them approach from the middle of the map here through the area, the Renekton on flank. OddApple goes in, the stun onto the Sejuani. You don't want to be focusing down the Sejuani. OddApple's taken low, gets taken down immediately now, and that means it's a 4v5. Renekton's going to be focused down on the other side. Double stun up by, or triple stun, I'm sorry, by the Braum, but it does not matter as Ashe is going to be taken down by Big Sugar on the backside because Ashe was left alone. There goes Braum down now, and what was a decent fight for the side of Odd has collapsed in the favor of RGS because they split up too much. Ashe left alone, they're focusing the tank. That is not what you do in a fight.
That is the main negative that I did see in that fight. You just cannot focus the tank. It never equates to good results. I mean, no matter how much burst potential you may think you have, it's not enough when playing against Sejuani. Because if she hasn't been in a fight long enough, I'm pretty sure her passive gives her a good amount of armor and MR. So she's practically unkillable as long as you don't have... As long as she hasn't been in a fight for the past, I believe, like 8 seconds is how her passive works, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. I had to get a drink of water after that one. Yeah, it's we can actually check that right now. Let's take a look and see. The passive is every about 8 seconds. It looks like. Yeah, 7 seconds. You were close.
Hey, I used to play Sejuani a good amount. I at least partially know what she does.
There you go. That's all that matters. I was not too much of a Sejuani player, unfortunately. I played jungle a little bit, but I mostly stick to Ivern whenever I did because Ivern is a broken tier champion that more people should be playing.
I've really only played the tank-esque because I just enjoy tanks for some reason. I loved it when Volibear was kind of broken because you just run around with the what were they called? I know they changed the name of the swords. Quick blades.
Yes, Navori quick blades.
Navori quick blades. Yes.
Was that where you can just get more of your
abilities? So basically, you run Navori's quick blades as well as Rod of Aegis, and you are attacking so fast. Like I had a fight where I had the Q on a 1 second cooldown, E on a 2 second. So Q E Q E Q E, and you just are unkillable.
Insane.
As long as you get a little bit ahead, you are beautiful. That's what I loved about him, but he's not my favorite anymore.
Now it looks like RJS is going to be focusing the top side. Of course, we have Baron up in 45 seconds. They're going to be looking to take this top tier one, which they did immediately. This is going to be the mid tier one going down for Odd. And they're going to get flanked on here. They're not in a good position to actually contest in a fight. LeBlanc is going to come around the back side.
She most certainly can be caught out because there is a control ward there. Volibear sees it, and it looks like... Ooh, what is happening to Orianna? Orianna is very out of position.
Oh, that damage onto Aminarch. Just one distortion is 20% of his health, and that's going to be the big fella going in there. That's the Sejuani getting in the middle of it all, but they're going to actually drop. No, they're going to get resurrected by Prince as they're trying to keep him alive, but it's not going to happen. Once again, just questionable decision making on these fights is now. That's an insta cleanse from Bandit, and that's going to allow All Out Potato. Oh, that double stun into the distortion. LeBlanc, that is dirty damage there. What was that? All Out Potato is eaten for breakfast. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. But now OddApple, we're going to have some apple cider with it as well because now they're gone. We're also going to have some Thunder Bear as well because they are just deleted off the Rift. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. We're going to have an apple pie with it, and we're going to have some
bear
stew
brulee
with
them
it.
as well. Let's cook them nice. And here comes again. Orianna's getting caught out here, and say hello to the Gator Girl combo.
Yeah, this is just a dead Orianna. There's nothing that they're able to do here. Goodbye. During that fight, there was 2 resurrects available to Prince. They did it once onto Sejuani, and then at the end there, off cooldown, they put it on LeBlanc. Insane.
Very good plays coming out from... I love seeing the support plays, and that's what we were just seeing. I love it. And all around, once again, RJS. Beautiful, beautiful fight to secure an even bigger lead. It looks to be about, if my math is right, 7k gold, which is huge, and it just got a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's... If the Sejuani doesn't go in just so blatantly and get blown up immediately, this would be an even bigger wipe of a fight where they could probably do even more with it.
Most certainly. I mean, it all around wasn't too bad of a play from the Sejuani just due to how tanky she is. I mean, she was sitting there for a solid 15, 30 seconds, just eating it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just like whatever pie you're trying to make over there.
Hey, it's a bear stew with potatoes and an apple pie or an apple cobbler, whichever one. I know apple cobbler's in season right now. Whichever one you want for dessert, because that's what they're having.
As long as all the choices are available to me, I will take both. So we could be seeing an apple tartare as well, but only time will tell.
As that is going to be Soul for the side of RJS. Chemtech Soul, they have all the tools. They just need to close out this game, and I don't want to see this game drag on.
That is correct. What they should be doing now, they have the Baron as well as the Soul. You just have to run it through. I mean, you have the Kog'Maw that is very, very strong. The only issue I am seeing is the fact that Odd has a Orianna, which just clears waves beautifully.
Yeah. Renekton has Guardian Angel, so they're not worried at all. Crocodile is going to be trying to fight out to eat some apples. They're not going to get too much. They're going to get a couple bites, but nothing crazy. As, you know, it's just the slow march down that they don't have the damage. There's no damage in this composition. Now, do remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is Draft League. We are in Fearless, which means that whatever champions you see being played right now are not going to be available for next game by any team, as Renekton's bitten off a little bit more than they could chew, taking on two members, Ammonarch and TheOddApple. The all-out comes out from TheOddApple, but the flash forward from Renekton is going to actually be not enough, as Dominus is going to tick down. TheOddApple has to get away, as they're going to get dropped. So there's your dessert. You're eating dessert first, ladies and gentlemen, and remember,
here comes the main entrees, apparently.
Yeah, main entree is these towers and Nexus, because without Cassante, there's no real tank. Ammonarch's not tanky enough. They're just now getting back into base. These inhibitors are going to drop very quickly. There's one moving over to the mid lane right now, as JFS is tanking up a lot of minion damage to start things off, as they're a little bit hesitant to try to close this out, as Big Sugar gets a lot, but All Out Potato's almost dead. Prince has to use the Resurrect on themselves to stay alive from the Orianna, but it does not matter as Ammonarch falls, and it's all up to Ashe, all up to Orianna. Two members and a dream, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Sejuani jumps forward. There's one. There's two. There's the Nexus turret going down.
Is the ace.
That is going to be RJS taking game one over Odd in what was a very, very slow game for us here for the first game in week 2 on stream.
Yes, that most certainly was a very interesting game. A lot of plays coming out from both teams there. I mean, the main issue that I was seeing was the actual Odd team. They played Odd, quite frankly. They had the lead off in the start, and they just could not keep on that lead, making a lot of slip-ups. The main fight, I believe, was at the Dragon at about like minute 25-ish, give or take, maybe 15. And that just slowly led them down a hill that caused them to lose grip on the game.
Yeah, with that, though, we're going to send it to a quick break as we prep for the draft of Game 2. So don't touch those browsers. Don't go anywhere. This is not a series that you're going to want to miss. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. Hello and welcome back to week 2 of Risen's Draft League, where RJS took a commanding first game victory over Odd. And now that we're into game 2, of course, this is Fearless. We're not going to see the same champions that we saw in game 1, but what are we expecting to see now? That, of course, we see Kaisa
already, which all around good pick. Hopefully, I really want to see a Thresh to back it up because I love Thresh. Quite frankly, one of my favorite characters in the game, and it is one that is my bread and butter, so I can make fun of you however much I would like if you play it wrong. Or if you play it right, hats off to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be matched with the Aphelios. Interesting pick.
Interesting to say the least. You know what I would love to see with this Skarner? An actual bot lane Skarner for supports. Yes. I have done a beautiful combo with my friends that I would have loved to actually see. It is a orange Skarner combo in the bot lane.
Oh, no,
yes.
no. Oh. As an orange jungle player, no.
It's beautiful because, you chuck out the Q on Ornn and I just ram you into the wall of Skarner. It almost always works out well. It's absolutely horrible to play against, and I have never played against it, and I hope I don't ever have to.
Well, it's going to be not that kind of day, but we are going to get Ornn in the top lane for Odd, comboed with the Lilia, so we're going to get some sleepy time on the Rift, but hopefully not a sleepy time game for us, as Mordekaiser's being hovered. One of the few champions that can really stand up to Ornn, but really also not really at the same time. So,
yes, I mean, for the Mordekaiser Ornn matchup, it's very skill-oriented because, the Mordekaiser, the main thing you want to play for is the ult dodge on Ornn's ult. So that is the main thing you ought to play off of.
Yeah. We're just waiting now. I mean, with what we're seeing, I mean, Ornn is good into the Mordekaiser. I'm still favoring RJS just because of how they played out the last map. And now Poppy. Poppy support?
Yes.
I mean, yes, but also
Poppy support is actually very good at this point in time. At least just before this new patch, her win rate was about 54-ish%.
Yeah, I mean, Poppy support's good in a vacuum into certain champions. Like, it's a very situational niche pick. The champions that I'm seeing right now that have come out for the bot lane, I would not want to see Poppy, but I love this.
Right?
I love this. I love Ryze as a champion. I'm sad that he's getting reworked for his ultimate to go away. I think that's happening for next season, because I love how his ultimate is played out. It really embodies it being team-oriented, moving around the map. And I don't think enough people truly appreciate just how good this champion is. And it's going to be a Bard. We're going to get Bardic.
Oh my.
Yes. I am here for this. 100%. I love Bard. A good Bard is always fun to watch.
Yes, most certainly. A bad Bard is also entertaining to watch, but
for very different reasons.
Aspects. Yes. So I would love to see some actual Bard Ryze plays. I would love to just see Bard walk up to the top lane and get a elevator back to bot lane almost.
I love this.
Could be intriguing.
Lux in the mid lane. Let's go. I mean, that is just super exciting. Lux is one that, I mean, you can absolutely delete anybody on the Rift almost with this champion. You start landing the ultimates and you're going to be just, what is it? The cooldown's going to be shortened. You're going to have a bunch of damage. Like, Bard is going to be going overtime. Even the Bard ult won't even be stopping the Lux ult. So it's just crazy. Like, I like the Bard. I like the comp that Odd has picked. RJS have some interesting picks, I'm not going to lie. Aphelios Poppy bot lane into this composition just doesn't quite make a lot of sense. But, I mean, you have to trust the players, There's still another game in case they lose, but we'll just have to wait and see on that.
I'm very intrigued on it, quite frankly. The Poppy can block a decent amount of the abilities, I believe. You have the Ryze. I'm not sure if it blocks his his dash TP thing. I
No, it
haven't
doesn't.
really. It does not. I have
No, it's
not
not
actually
considered a
seen a
dash.
Rise played. Rise is a very, very, very rare character to see, and I actually haven't seen him personally in any of my games. So
Yeah,
this is
he's
going to
not a
be a
solo
first
queue
for me.
type of champion at all.
That I would believe.
It is very much coordinated. So, I mean, my eyes are going to be on Poppy as to why did they pick this champion, and is it going to be this pop off style that they need? Otherwise, this Poppy is just going to fall flat. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I think that's going to be the big question mark of this, because Lux is going to dish out damage. No matter what, they're going to have to shut down this Rise. So it's going to be on Skarner and Poppy to really be the difference makers on the Rift right now.
Yes, I mean, I'm also intrigued on the Aphelios pick. It's not something you see too horribly often, to say the least. And that one is also, once again, a very skill-based pick.
It
I'm
is.
intrigued to see where it goes all around. Hopefully, good plays from everyone all around. I am very intrigued on this top lane, actually, because Mordekaiser Ornn, it's going to be a fun one, to say the least.
That it will be. With that, we're going to send it to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be here with in-game for Game 2 between Odd and RJS. This is, again, not one that you're going to want to miss after the barn burner of Game 1. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to Summoner's Rift, where we have game 2 between Odd and RJS. As we get another 5 point for us, and of course it's Bard. They're going to be roaming around the Rift occasionally, picking up those chimes, because everybody knows that the actual taking of the Nexus is only a side objective for Bard. It's all about collecting the chimes.
I mean, minimum you gotta have 100 before the end of the game. At minimum. But quite frankly, by the end of the game, you should have close to 3,000 if you're playing it right.
And if we're taking a look here, this is the only proper Ornn skin right here.
Yes, indeed. Choo choo Ornn. I hope you know I will interrupt your comms and talking if I see a train come out. I will scream choo choo.
Oh, absolutely. That's the only acceptable way to do this.
I love being a caster.
But, I mean, with what we're seeing on the Rift right now, how are you expecting this game to go?
I mean, I'm basically going off of the last game. It was very... And speaking of which,
already
hello!
The Ignite being dropped with the stun. Big Sugar already down to 150 HP just because of this is Bard. Bard does not sit in lane.
Bard is rarely ever in lane, but I was not expecting that. You know, interrupt my train of thought, and dear Lord,
no,
JFS.
the train is the train is in top lane.
I was setting you up for that one, but I'm kind of disappointed you took it anyways. But with that in mind, I believe it's going to be a very interesting game. I mean, right now we're seeing a level 2 difference on this top lane, and Choo Choo's getting kicked down hard. I mean, with this, I'm expecting a lot of things coming out from RJS, but just due to what just happened on the team of Odd, I might expect some more crazy things from them. I mean, they have the Bard, they have the Rise, and they have the Train. So, I feel that is more than enough to say it's going to be an interesting game.
It should be an interesting game, and I would hope that Odd is able to win out. They have the composition to do so. It's not an easy comp to execute anytime that you have a Bard and a Rise. It's not easy to execute on, but it's one that can be executed if you're able to. It's a little bit easier on the side of RJS. The big difference is the Poppy. Like, I'm still hesitant on the Poppy.
Poppy is a very interesting choice. I quite frankly don't like playing against Luxes, Morganas, and that sort, because you can just get absolutely stuck in. Even though you have the W, which gives you that extra like 15% move speed, it's sometimes just not enough to get you out of there. And beautiful stun.
Good stun, not quite in the Lucent Singularity though, so not going to get a decent amount of damage. Doesn't get the auto attack off either. It's not going to matter early game because the damage isn't going to be there, but you're really going to be looking for how these stuns line up in the mid to late game and around these dragons and barons, because that's really where it's going to make the biggest of differences.
That indeed. And with that in mind, the first dragon is coming out in about a minute 20 seconds, and so far both teams are playing relatively safe, except both the junglers are finishing their clear right about now, and we should be seeing some moves. Unless... I lied to you. For some reason, Lilia's going back down bot lane, going the long way, and Skarner's just sitting in tri-bush, waiting for someone to test them.
Yeah, Skarner's expecting a gank to come out, as Lux is taken very low, has to throw out the shield, but it's not going to be enough, as Wame has more than enough flash follow. One more auto attack is not going to be able to get it, as now
and here's the Skarner.
The stun into the wall. Not going to actually get anything onto JFS though, so overall it's actually going to be a loss on the side of RJS. Yeah, because
I mean,
they just
with
lose out
that,
on health.
You had the anti-synergy, actually, from the Poppy and Skarner. If the timing was a little bit better, you could have gotten the stun off onto the, I believe that was Bard that got stunned by the Poppy. And then from there, the Skarner could have double and pulled him farther in the team, and then more than likely secured a kill from there. But it just did not play out that way.
Now we can see that this is going to be pretty typical for a while of this lane. Ornn is going to get pushed out pretty heavily, as of course Mordekaiser doesn't have any mana issues, as we're going to have Big Fella Zane coming right back around, the stun coming out, and that means that Poppy can now line it up. Beautifully played. First blood going over to the Aphelios, as the TheOddApple's also taken quite low on the top side. So well done. There's the synergy. That's why they picked this duo.
Yes, indeed. It is a very good combination, actually. Just due to the movement potential you actually have to just shove everyone around. It is just disgusting to play against. And you can also have some synergy with the enemy team, with the Ornn. If he throws out that Q a little bit too willy-nilly, you can stun him into his own, which I hope I get to see today.
Good sidestep there by the Lux to miss out on some of the damage. Of course, Ryze has a lot of just point and click as well with his E, but JFS is back. Lux has no flash, is gonna struggle to get away. The auto attacks are coming through, plus the ignite. JFS is gonna die to the ultimate of Lux, and they're also gonna live. They're gonna live on 17 HP.
Is playing it right. I mean, you get caught out. Most people would die at that point in time, but he stuck through and actually survived and took one with him. That was a absolutely beautiful play coming out from Sugar there, and just an unfortunate turn of events. And
oh no, they can't actually get over the walls, so now they're just hoping that they can get out. The Ryze TP's in. Here comes the choo-choo train. Landing onto Prince as they're trying to now get away. There's no revives, and this time good use of the E onto the Raptors to make sure they're able to get away. So no kills, luckily, for the side of RJS, but that was ever so close.
Most certainly. And with the Poppy, it actually allows a lot of creative control in regards to these fights, because you're able to just...
Ooh, there's the Mordekaiser ultimate. OddApple is going to be stuck in here with Mordekaiser, and there's just nothing that they're going to be able to do. Flashing away. Flash followed by Mordekaiser. Going to get one. There they go. The tick of the passive means that they're going to pick up their first solo bolo onto the Ornn in the top side. And
yes, indeed.
That's going to cement their control.
Pay attention to what he's building. He already has I believe the second level is called Negatron Cloak, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that is the Negatron Cloak.
And then the no resist mantle, whatever the crap they call it. So that is a lot of magic resist. I believe that adds up to about 55 magic resist, if I'm not mistaken, which should add some survivability on the hands of this Ornn here. Oh, 65. That is a lot more than I thought. But I'm not exactly sure what that equals for him today.
So far, not enough is the answer to that question. Is now Ammonarch is going to get the Aphelios ult stunned up. Prince is here not going to quite land the stun. The flash over the wall. Ammonarch's on the wrong side as Bandit follows up on that. Prince is stunned up with the Bard. Not going to have too many issues as Big Fella Zane is able to just run over those walls. LeBlanc versus Aphelios is one that Ammonarch is trying to live out. They're just
still alive.
They're just trying to get the
execute.
And they get it.
She did.
Oh no. And now Big Sugar's actually struggling into the Ryze here. Oh, that Q missing though means that they're gonna have enough health to sit into lane still. But yeah, Big Sugar's struggling right now versus the damage that Ryze can put out.
I mean, Ryze is just a hard champion to play against, as I'm figuring out. His burst potential is actually just absurd. Without much actual counterplay to it outside of just hit him, fool. That's not exactly a method most people like trying to adhere to.
Lots of damage coming onto the Mordekaiser, but they have a full shield.
And my friends.
Oh, not enough time. They didn't have the shield up and ready. And that means OddApple is going to get the choo-choo run over death by tying you to the tracks.
Yes, indeed. And then do pay attention to the items that was purchased. Oh, never mind. There was actually a backtrack on the items from this Mordekaiser. I'm actually intrigued where he's going with this. And he bought the exact same items, except he has a null instead, as well as... Oh, never mind. He's changed it around hard on me. He's trying to make it hard for me to guess what he's actually picking here today. So I'm not even going to comment on it anymore.
Yeah, going for the control ward I think is good. Make sure that you can keep the Lilia from getting into that lane and affecting it more.
Yes, indeed. Any river control I consider a very good bonus because, even though... Actually, Bard is not on his team. I apologize. Even though you do have a support, they can't be up there at this point in time. And they can't even be up there for most of the game, if we're being honest here. Only in rare situations, of course.
Now, Lux is falling behind this Rise in terms of CS, and that's something that we're going to have to keep our eye on, as gold-wise, they're also down about 120 gold. Top side, though, is a 300 gold bounty, 300 gold lead, but 400 is the gold difference in the jungle for the side of Odd, in favor of Odd, so that's good for them, as they do have just a slight deficit because of everything. Is there's a fight for grubs right now. Ammonarch took the first one.
Mordekaiser there for it as well. It's a brawl on it here.
Oh, good Bard ultimate means that there's going to be one stun from each side, but it does not matter. That's one down to suppress this steal away into the stun onto the wall. OddApple, there's just nowhere that you can go. You're going to burn down. The Mordekaiser gets a double kill.
Double kill.
As
very nice.
The Lux ultimate was used. Lux ultimate was used off screen as well.
Okay, I did not see that, so most certainly fitting on the off of screen chance here. But that was a very interesting brawl on grubs there, and that's like the only way to describe it, quite frankly. Very good. This Bard appears to be a very good player, so I would love to see some insane plays coming out from him today. I mean,
doesn't have the ultimate for this dragon, though.
There is also a very big thing of note right now. Both top lanes have secured their first major item. We have Canic Rookern and Lysandre's Anguish in the top lane here today.
Lysandre's is going to be a good pick for this Mordekaiser. It's very standard meta build. As hold on, Rise got a little low there from that Lucent Singularity.
However, Livia is watching over the fight as well.
Oh no! Oh, Ornn got pulled back. Is going to be taking.
But he has so much magic resist.
That's still a lot of damage to lose.
It is still indeed a lot of damage, especially just look at how low his tower is. And he's
gonna get the pullback as well. They're not gonna have the shield for a second. There it is, the flash follow. There should. Oh no, it's gonna be a trade there. The turret shot just barely enough to take them down. But overall, that's just a huge win in that top side for the Mordekaiser, because you're denying CS at the same time.
Correct. I mean, all around, I love this top lane fights that we're seeing here. It's just beautiful, disgusting brawls, quite frankly. And I love to see the I'm not going to commentate on it. We're just going to go ahead and wait for it to roll.
It's nothing crazy just yet. Skarner's here.
No, I was really talking about the Skarner ult miss, actually.
Yeah, it missed. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't turn to Dragon immediately after the fight topside, because Bard didn't have ultimate. The Lilia was off the table, but now Rise is back. Rise is dishing out the damage. The flash forward, no stun. That's going to be a sleep potentially onto the Skarner. No, they're just going to die instead. The Bard ult does find 2, and that's going to be Bandit going down. The Keeper's verdict to launch 2 away, but it's just... You already lost your ADC, you lost your jungle, and now you're going to lose Dragon on top of that as well because you didn't take it earlier.
All around, that was a very big misplay coming out from RJS. Although fully it doesn't matter because Bossman is showing him who is boss, unless it is another trade in the bot lane. However, TP did come out from Rise and not his ult. So, quite frankly, it's very interesting, the scales that are happening right now. And just the trades, RJS didn't really play it right. They still do have the gold advantage at this point in time. I mean, the main hand that they're playing with is that their Mordekaiser is just so far ahead. I mean, 5-3-0, not exactly great, but he has the I don't remember what that item is called, the purple gem looking thing. All I know is it stops magic resist, and oh my goodness,
not matter. Rise is 2 out of position. That is just ouch. There's no breaking that down. That's just ouch.
Yes, there is absolutely... That was a missed cue. I won't judge you, Sugar. You did good, my friend. I mean, it's honestly very out of position from that Rise there, but, I mean, he may have thought in the back of his head that he had that Rise ult. He most certainly can escape, but not to that scale. You aren't that free there, because... Quite frankly, I wouldn't expect 4 people there either.
No, definitely not. Now it's going to be Lux versus Ornn. Now, Ornn has enough magic resist that they don't have to worry too much about getting out, pushed out.
He doesn't have to worry at all. He does not have to worry.
It is going to be Herald. JFS is here and they don't see them. It's not going to matter as they didn't throw out the ult. Still doing okay. They get the Herald. They can now crack open whichever turret they want. I would hope to see the mid lane.
Yes, mid lane is almost always the best option just because if you get rid of that, I mean, the triangle, you just lose like Raptors because it's no longer in your safe zone.
Yeah, and with that now, we need to see them start forcing down a turret here. We're at 16 minutes in. It's all about just pushing pace of this game because you really don't have the later stages that, the Rise and the Kaisa have.
Yes, Odd is playing for the late game here. You just have to take whatever advantage you have here and hope that keeps you alive for the entirety of the end game that you need. So you're just slightly ahead once that 30 to 40 minute time frame comes off and you last hit the Nexus.
Absolutely, and it's it's back to the Ornn Mordekaiser top lane here, but Lilia's in the area, so they have to be a little bit careful as there's the Lux ultimate. That root was crucial in keeping that Rise alive as the Skarner ult misses as well because of that. Huge plays by the Rise to keep themselves alive.
Yes, indeed. And I will do a slight detour to let you know 69 Heartsteel stacks, my friend.
Very important to know.
Yes, I apologize for the random burst of information. But with that in mind as well, we have Dragon up in 2 minutes and the first Baron up in 2:45.
And it looks like, a Mordekaiser ult coming out onto the Ornn means that the Odd Apple is taken quite low.
And Choo
misses. He does not get the second cast of it. So no, it's only one Choo. It's not a Choo on that one, as now Ammonarch has arrived to try and make a play here. Flashing away is Mordekaiser, and they're going to keep that away. That Bard ultimate was perfect.
I love you, my friend. JFS.
Stunned onto the Rise, and that is going to be a huge Lux ultimate. Going to delete the Rise and trade for the Skarners. JFS is also taken low. Going to also be deleted by Big Sugar. Big plays there.
Goodness. I mean, Bard, once again, absolutely beautiful play on stopping the actual Herald charge, because their tower would have been gone if they didn't have that at that point in time. And then, additionally, I do have a slight question for you. If Ornn ults inside of Mordekaiser ult, is he not able to hit? Because I think that's what just happened there.
I thought they were out of it.
No, I'm pretty sure. No, he was definitely still inside the ult. Just, he ulted through his own train. So he dashed forward, I believe, is what I saw.
Yeah, it could be. As Big Sugar here is just going to die. They're going to pick up the cannon. That's all that matters. And Shutdown's going to go over to the Lilia. So,
which isn't exactly someone you want to shut down to go to, but I believe it is better than Rise.
Yes.
But it's still, I'm not entirely sure if it is worth it. I mean, the cannon and the full wave, I quite frankly would have just accepted more of a back. Would have been your best play, but
yeah, they were pinned out. There's nothing they could do. As now Ammonarch gets a little close to the Skarner, has to be careful. If you get pulled away, you are kind of just dead.
Yes, indeed, because Lilia, even though I say she's a pseudo tank, just because you can't hit the dang girl, she is not actually that horrendously tanky. And with that in mind, Odd secures Ocean Drake. And with that, we will be seeing what dragon, and it is Mountain Soul, which is absolutely huge for both teams here, no matter which one actually secures this.
And now it's a little bit of a timer here for the side of RJS, as Odd Apple has to flash away, gets pushed back. There's just nowhere that they can go. The choo-choo train comes out, but there's only one Choo. Odd Apple was in the Death Realm, gets taken down. Prince is here, gonna launch the Keeper's Verdict. Launching, it looks like the Kaisa away. Now it's all the Mordekaiser, but the Mordekaiser just can't go anywhere. The Drowsy comes out, they're gonna get deleted, but The Bard picks up the kill. Big Fella Zane takes down the Rise in the mid lane. So overall, a 2-for-1 trade across the map as Big Sugar's just in the bot side saying, hey guys, what's going on up there? I'm trying to take a turret down here, eh?
And he most certainly is taking the turret there. I can't do that accent for the life of me unless I say I'm walking here. So, with that, we are having more trades mid, nothing too exciting. However, the bot lane tower is going to Sugar, and she will hopefully be the sugar mama of the team and get the rest of the team ahead here today.
Yeah, it's going to be on this. This Lux should start pumping out damage soon. Has now the Luden's Companion along with that Seraph's Embrace, so is really going to be pushing out that damage here. It's all just, you have to now take these team fights. You have to keep pushing your lead. You have about a 2,500
and you have to
gold
take
lead.
them right.
Yes.
Is the main issue that I've been having with the RJ. Actually, no, with the Odd team. They haven't been taking the fights right, but it's sort of flipping a little bit here. RJS has taken a few bad fights, but also just due to how strong Bossman is, they end up still coming out relatively positive. So there's a possibility that turns around later on just due to how strong these characters end up scaling into.
Yes, and it's going to be something to keep an eye on here as we move through
indeed.
this.
And with keeping an eye on something, we are going to see maybe a fight on this top lane, but it looks like Rise senses what's coming due to that nice little tri-bush ward. And everyone goes back to even. With that in mind, First Baron is up, and it's been 2 minutes since it has been up, but nobody wants it yet, and Dragon...
Oh, hold on.
Got a Rise
We're going to get a Realm Warp with the Bard ultimate onto the turret, so they can easily tower dive. Bandit stays alive, but it's not enough time as we get flipped to the bot side now, as no one dies in the mid lane except for Bandit. And now OddApple has to try to survive against this Mordekaiser, but it is just a beatdown. Chew, only one Chew again.
Only one
Drowsy
Chew.
on the Skarner, flash forward by Ammonarch. They take a turret shot, but it's not going to be enough as they are able to live with the push away. And that's a 2-for-1 again overall.
This is exactly what I was discussing with the RJS. You know, the roles have been slightly swapped. They're the ones taking the bad fights here. I mean, it definitely didn't seem like one. I believe they actually just got caught out.
Oh, hold on.
But, oh my goodness,
just here.
JFS,
there's just nothing that they could do. They do go out over the wall, but that's going to be a follow by the Mordekaiser. Can't actually get on top of him, but finally does. That auto attack is enough. And it's going to be traded out.
Another trade. So 2 members are out and 2 are getting back at the same time. However, due to how much higher level Mordekaiser is, he will actually be a lot later. However, TP is definitely a big advantage in that regard, of course. But
yeah, it's almost double the amount of time.
Interesting stuff. Yes, because I honestly have no idea what level that guy is, because for some reason, League is smart, and whenever they die, it doesn't show you what level they are.
He's probably around level 15, or he's probably, I think, level 15 right now.
That sounds about right. And then I will state very important news happening right now. Dragon is up in 45 seconds. Every member of every team will be ready for this one, and it looks like we're having to back out of the Lilia, more than likely to prep items and get ready for this brutal fight we're about to see.
Yep, level 15 on the Mordekaiser. OddApple's just has the TP. Will have all ultimates should be online. Yes, all ultimates will be online. As oh no, JFS.
Oh my!
Gets stunned into the wall. Can't use the portal.
The gate. And
that's just gonna be a dead. That's a huge pick there for the side of RJS. And that means that Dragon should be theirs.
Dragon, yes. Unless obviously something does happen, but I'm not exactly expecting too horribly much. A steal is entirely possible, but Ornn is showing up in the back line there. However, Bart will be back in about 12 seconds.
Ooh, that is a dead Rise, though. There's not much place that they can go. There's the choo-choo train.
Here's the choo.
But only one Chew again.
A chew. Oh my lord.
Just time and time again, as the kidnap onto Ammonarch is not enough to kill them yet, as we're dancing around a little bit. Potato taking out Sugar here so low, but oh, the trade once again. Mordekaiser barely picking him up, but Ammonarch with the bowling ball picks up.
And here is the Bard securing the kill, and he will be cruising. Hits the stun onto the Lux there and secures the kill.
We could be seeing a game 3 tonight.
I, quite frankly, wouldn't love that. I would love to go to bed. But I would love to see entertaining games. So let's stick with it, my friend. And with that, mid T1 has been taken. All T1s on the side of RJS has been taken. And Odd is securing a nice little gold lead. 3 dragons secured, and they will be having looks to be about a 2k gold advantage to the hands of Odd.
Yeah, it's totally been flipped on its head. That was a massive, massive fight for Odd, and one that they really needed to feel like they could take more fights. Now, they're the ones who need to close out cleanly. They have the composition to do so. They just need to take more aggressive fights like they did and not get caught out like a JFS did.
Correct. I mean, quite frankly, on top of that, they also don't really need to actually take fights, in my opinion, because they're a harder scaling team. You have Bard, he scales infinitely, and I believe he might be passing a stopping point soon to where he'll just deal crazy damage and say hello to 4 members of Odd here.
Ammonarch is in the death realm with the Mordekaisers. Now here's the double choo-choo. And Ammonarch's going to pick up that kill, and that should be Baron. As Lux is on the bot side, does have TP, but overall, like, this is not one that you really need to be... Like, you can TP for this, but you're not really expecting to win the fight here.
Correct. So, but Lux is actually backing here, so I won't judge
gonna get the TP in.
They do here. And look at the Bard's pressure here. Beautiful stun as well.
Oh, that damage onto Prince is massive, but they're going to have to start backing away as the Bard ult misses. JFS is in a little bit of a pickle here. Lux has arrived. Baron at 300, 700, and slain by Ammonarch as there is the kill onto the jungler as well. Ooh, that is a lot of damage onto Aphelios, and they're going to go down. Big Sugar's in the middle of 3 here. There's just nowhere that they can go. Knocked up and taken down. Odd Apple has picked up that kill. A really good fight there for Odd.
Yes, quite frankly, very, very good. The spacing on the Bard was relatively good. The only real issue was that he got caught. You know, it's the same thing with laws. As long as you don't get caught breaking them, you're all right. Don't take my advice on that. I probably shouldn't say that. But all around, very good plays coming out from the Odd team there. Do you have anything of note to state about that fight? Because quite frankly, I forget about the fights as soon as they finish up. And we don't have an action replay.
It was a decent fight. It's all just now... closing out this game. You have Baron. You had Baron last game, or no, it was RJS.
It was RJS with it last time.
Don't be like RJS and not utilize your first Baron. Start taking turrets now. You're far enough ahead that you can close out this game in 5 minutes if you textbook close this game out. That's what we're looking forward to see right now.
Yes, and then I will also state, slight detour. Thank you for the raid, apparently, Bubble Medic. I'm not sure if we're supposed to commentate on that, but I assumed we were told we were allowed to say hi to everyone, and saying thank you to a raid, I feel is more than applicable here.
Absolutely. Huge raid there. Is
oh my goodness.
Potato is going all out under turret, trying to pick up the sugar. Trying to get a sugary drink, it feels like, as Ryze took a nice chunk of health. Flash forward by the Mordekaiser in the death realm, trying to kill this Ryze off. But, ooh, that zone is huge.
Oh my goodness.
Now, the root, the ultimate, not enough to kill off the Ryze, but this is a very bloody fight that finally Ryze is the first to fall, followed up by the Skarner, 1-for-1 so far, as it is now a bloodbath for the side of Odd, as the TheOddApple's trying to tank this turret. They haven't taken the turret yet. It is a 2-for-1 trade right now. Turret finally falls, health bars are low, and that's going to be that on that push.
Yes, indeed. That was a absolutely brutal fight. And with that as well, the Baron buff will be wearing off on the side of Odd team here. And that was just absolutely disgusting. Just a brutal back and forth with the Mordekaiser going all the way in right off rip to try and secure the kill onto the Ryze. But he eventually did, even though the stopwatch was cracked.
Yeah, it's this is just absolute peak draft cinema right now. So well played by these squads. They're very evenly matched, and even though there's an almost 7,000 gold difference, they barely were able to get that turret, and they couldn't push farther on. So just really well played on the defense on the side of that. But there's still a lot of league left to play for Odd if they want to try to close this out, because they are struggling right now to find that last nail in the coffin to really close this game out.
And this dragon most certainly can be the final call of this game, because it is Soul on the side of Odd here, and
Kai'Sa's mid
RJS
knows
top.
this. Kai'Sa mid rise top, and they're going to be forcing them off the dragon. Kai'Sa's going to be taking that inhibitor turret. The dragon hasn't been started yet. Inhibitor turret is dropped. Inhibitor going to be falling here as dragon is started up with the
and a tier 2 turret is getting secured as well.
Jungle in the Death Realm. That's dragon secure. Stun up on to the Bard, but there's just no damage yet. They're going to try to back here, and the Keeper's Verdict to launch one away, but it's TP's to the last Nexus turret. It's going to be all or nothing right now. Rise is hitting the Nexus here. Big Fella Zane does get the suppress onto one, but the all-out potato has too much damage, too much potential coming out from the potatoes. You can boil them, you can mash them, you can stick them in a stew, but it's still not going to be enough as they secure the Nexus. They're stunned. It is almost over. They're going to get saved as Rise takes the Nexus for game 2, as we are going to be seeing a game 3 in this series, ladies and gentlemen. As what a game that was.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. That was a beautiful finish to the game, and once again, the deciding factor was the dragon, even though the man who won it didn't win the game. It's almost exactly what you didn't expect. Exactly.
Dragon for Nexus. Timo approves of that trade because he's always on the winning team. That's a Timo approved trade right there. With that, we're going to send it to a quick break as we prep for game 3, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get back here in just a few minutes with the draft of that. So don't touch those browsers. Don't go anywhere. This is a banger of a series you don't want to miss. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, hello and welcome back to the draft of Game 3 between Rift Jobs and the TheOddApple's, where TheOddApple's took a, I wouldn't say commanding Game 2 victory, but one that was a bounce back from the Game 1 loss that was close until it wasn't. Obviously, we are playing full Fearless. You can see all the champions that are not allowed to be played by either squad just above the draft. And we're going to start out with a Jhin. Now, I love Jhin. I was a Jhin main.
Yes,
and
indeed.
it is one of the best champions in the game, in my opinion. I love the mechanics of the champion, and it has some of the best skins.
And also some of the best voice lines.
Oh, yes.
And the same people behind it, because just, you got the, whatever that song is, where he just counts for some reason. Can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but I
excellent
love
choice,
that
though.
pick.
Excellent
One
choice.
of my favorite ADCs of all times, quite frankly. And we are having a Malphite pick for Odd here.
That's a good pick. That is a really good pick.
Correct.
Along
You
with
can
the
play that
MF.
sort of anywhere.
Well, and the Malphite, it's going to go top lane, but in case Jhin ever decides to ult, you just have the Unstoppable Force to say, nope.
Yes,
You
and
have
the
a big
range
note
on it is
button.
absolutely huge as well. You can just deny him. Ooh, and a Silas, maybe? They're hovering it?
Yes, do it. Lock it in. Just do it. Just do it. Yes.
And it is a lock-in. That scary
with
pick.
the
And a Tom
TK.
Kent.
Oh, this is
That is...
RJS is winning it. I'm
disgusting.
calling it right now. It is.
All right, what are the odds?
They need this one right here. Pick this one right here. This is
Which
what
team?
they need. For RJS, just pick this and they win. Just do it. Just Nike. Just be Nike
Come on.
for a game.
Please be watching the stream. Teemo. Hit us with a Teemo. I don't want to see it.
I want to
hate
cast a
it.
Teemo. It's
I-
draft league. Come on.
Yeah, you know what? Why not? Hit us with a Teemo, please.
But no,
Come on,
just
I
with
know
the
you're listening.
Silas with Unstoppable Force and a Syndra, like. I mean, like this is Silas's like. This is what they. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yes.
Come on.
Come on.
Lock it in.
You
Lock
know
it
you
in.
want to. Come on.
Well, you see it. You want it.
You know you want to do it. Don't bait me
Come
like
on.
this. Don't rip out my
they're gonna
heart like
tease.
this. Okay, that's acceptable. I get it. It's gonna be a Silas top, a Mumu jungle. Okay, that's
But you
fine.
didn't
I
have to
accept
wait for
it. I'm
that
not happy
long.
though. I'm not happy, but I'll accept it.
I consider that downright rude. You know, they were here. They had us. They had us so ready for it.
I'll
and
accept
they just
it.
Let us
They do
down.
want to win the game. I get it. Is this going to be a
And a
Blitzcrank?
Blitzcrank,
Okay,
but-
I like this. The Blitzcrank can hook whoever, Tom Kench, you know, it's, you know, oh, you wanted to eat somebody? Well, thanks, I'm just going to hook you too, or okay, you split them out, I'm going to hook them, like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's so many opportunities to hook. The issue is you don't want to hook a Silas, you don't want to hook
Correct.
a Mumu, and you don't want to hook Tom Kench. You're aiming for
Correct.
Hui, and you're aiming for Jhin.
And
those are some of the
sometimes
hardest
Tom
ones.
Kench when he has a friend of yours in his mouth.
Yes.
But that's rare situations, quite frankly.
It's
and
going to be a
with
rough
that-
one.
I actually have a slight question for you.
What's up?
Do you think we're going to be seeing a gank this time around? Not a gank, apologies, invade. I always mess those up for some
We
reason.
should. If it's Blitzcrank, you should invade. Like, 100% you should be invading.
However, I do feel the concern of them for a Mumu as well. So it's fair game for anyone here. Except for Silas, Jhin, Tom Kench. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, if you pull in a Mumu, you're just getting Curse of the Sad Mummied. Just congratulations, your entire team is going to be stunned, whoever's standing around. So it's not something that you want to do. Hui and Jhin are going to be playing so far back that it's going to be difficult unless you're flanking as Blitzcrank. But we'll just have to wait and see on that to see exactly how they decide to play that out. The Unstoppable Force, like, all of these ultimates on the side of Odd are good for Silas. It's insane.
Yes. I mean, with Silas, I'm pretty sure I saw a recent statistic for if there's a Malphite on the enemy team, Silas wins like 80% of the time or something stupid.
It doesn't surprise me because Unstoppable Force is AP scaling. So
Correct. And then also a Blitzcrank on top. and Jarvan all around. That can just be absolutely
Oh,
killer.
no, it's going to be a Tahm Kench top.
Oh.
So, Bossman, I'm looking at the client.
Support?
Bossman picked up Tahm Kench. Big Sugar took up Silas, which means it's going to be a Hui support. Interesting.
Not nearly as good, but I guess if you pick it off the start, you got to stick with it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it can yield
I can see it. I can see it. As long as you don't get hooked, you're fine. But we'll have to wait and see on that. With that, we're going to send
issue with the Blitzcrank. The issue with the Blitzcrank is that there's no windup. It's just Q. That is the very scary thing with him. I don't like playing squishies into him. I mean, Hui Jin, you have some nice survivability and movement, but
it's going to be rough.
Not sure if it's enough. Yes.
With that, we're going to send it to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be here for Game 3, the final game to decide who wins the series between RJS and Odd. So you won't want to miss it. We'll be right back. right, everybody, hello and welcome back to Game 3 between Odd and RJS, where we are sitting at 1 apiece to decide who is going to come out on top, and we are getting a 5-stack to start things off. It looks like in the bot side, potentially, we're a little bit of a counter-invade strat, afraid of the Blitzcrank here.
Yes, I mean, I'm also very intrigued that we aren't seeing an absolute brawl near this red buff here. But standard 5-point is what we've been seeing all day, so I shouldn't really expect anything much different from that, even though you have the most invadable guy on your team.
You serious? Yeah. But
I mean, we had Braum that other time, but I feel
Blitzcrank
just
is
a
one that
little
you
bit
should always
more.
be invading with.
Yes, really any hook champ, quite frankly.
Yeah. But alas, they're not going to do it. They're just going to 5-point, and the rest of the team is going to spread out, make sure that nothing else has happened to the rest of their jungle, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the game now.
Oh, yes. And then I do have a slight thing to report on this. Blitzcrank actually already used his ward and now has Lens, which is a very good choice in my opinion. I do it very rarely whenever I play Pyke, just because securing bush control is just so much more important than actually having vision on the jungler.
You see the damage that this MF is going to be able to put out against 2 squishies. You have to really be careful about how you play in the wave and around the wave because of that double up from All Out Potato. Or double tap, I should say, from All Out Potato. But overall, like, it's not going to be too bad. They're going to have first push just because they have more damage.
Level 2 gank, actually.
Smart
Coming out
plays
from
here.
Amumu.
For Amumu. Oh, the first bandage toss doesn't last, but the flash there from Odd Apple. They're not going to get under turret in time, or are they? They will, as Big Philizane gets taken quite low. So does Boss Man. 2 turret shots apiece, and that is going to be a whole lot of damage onto those 2 members.
Yes, quite frankly, that was a very unfortunate turn of events coming out from the Amumu. I feel if both bandages were available there, it most certainly would have been a kill, but not much you can do in hindsight on that. Just unfortunate events for RJS here. And then all around as well, I haven't seen much moves coming out from this bot lane yet. The Blitzcrank's just showing pressure here. And here comes something as soon as I say it.
Yeah, it's just trading right now. Tom Kench has an insane amount of damage that you have to be careful about, as Big Sugar got the Kingslayer off, got a little bit of healing, not a lot. You're really waiting for those later on moments where they're really going to be dishing out the damage. But with this wave now pushed up, JFS has all the time in the world to line up these hooks. However they wish to. It barely goes wide.
It was a very, very narrow angle just due to how big the actual hook head is. You can just easily nick a minion, and that's just going to waste your time. So I'd rather shoot wide by a small margin than hit a minion, quite frankly. So not the worst of attempts. And then I will state, very early on, we are 1 minute and 20 away from the first dragon. As
some trading in the mid lane here. Muam has to be a little bit careful. But with J4 there, if Big Sugar decides to go back in, that is not going to be a fun time for them as Ammonarch. Oh, good dash away. As a flash forward by Big Sugar means that they're going to actually be first blooded by the Syndra. Well played by Ammonarch there.
Yes, very well played. Only unfortunate thing I am seeing on RJS's hand is obviously not having a ward to cover that, but it's not exactly entirely expected for you to have a ward at that point in time covering that specific spot. But very good play coming out from Ammonarch, securing a assist and a kill for Syndra.
Odd Apple just has to run away. Not much that they're able to do.
Correct. I mean, pre-level 6, Malphite, quite frankly, isn't that strong from what I've seen. I mean, you really just need that level 6 to have a lot of pressure. Outside of that, you're sort of just a punching bag.
Good trade there by Silas. As Bossman is just bullying this Malphite right now.
Yes, indeed. I will state it's definitely a little bit different from what we've been seeing, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Odd Apple has been dominating, if I'm not mistaken. Or I just forget how the game's been going.
It's been even. First game Odd Apple was, but Bossman really brought it back. But yes. Odd Apple gets tossed up from
However, the
Bossman
counter gank's
stunned
coming as
up.
well.
And that means Amumu they should be able to grab this kill here. There it is also in the bot side. Bandit lands the deadly flourish onto All Out Potato, but the fourth shot onto Blitzcrank is a dead robot in the bot lane.
Number 4 is killer here today, ladies and gentlemen, and we might be seeing a little bit more happening here today. However, it looks like Potato is making it out alive. But wow, very good plays coming out all across the board. We saw the counter gank coming in the top lane. However, it just wasn't early enough, so I'm pretty sure Jarvan just left because it's not exactly something he wanted to be caught up in.
He was there, he took a little bit of damage, and he walked away.
Yes, quite frankly, getting out of there was the best bet that he could have done. At least in my opinion, of course. And with that in mind, the first grubs of the game are up. And Jarvan knows that and is currently on it. And Dragon is up as well. And Blitzcrank is just going on a journey.
Yeah, he's trying to catch somebody out. After going down like that, you really start to struggle as a support. Because you want to make a play happen so you can bring this lane back to even. But it's going to be difficult as a Blitzcrank right now because they can play so far back.
I mean, the biggest issue that you have with that mindset whenever it does indeed happen is you can get farther behind by trying to play too aggressive.
So, you know, you really careful.
Correct. It is a very fine line between that sort of play. Another mentality behind that is you can gank another lane, which I believe we might be seeing him do. Outside of just getting vision, he might be heading to mid and try and secure something onto this Sylas. However, due to Sylas having ult, that can prove negative.
JFS is mid lane here right now. Ooh. Good dodge out by Big Sugar on the Scout of the Week. Almost getting hooked, though. Very fine.
Did you see the anti-synergy there?
It was close. No, I wouldn't say it was anti-synergy because if the Scout of the Week lands, you just walk forward and hook, and because he dodged out on it, they were trying to line it up, and they just barely missed. I wouldn't say that was anti-synergy.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw the ability from Syndra, which throws a minion hit, the minion survives, and then Blitz hit the minion with a hook.
Oh, maybe. Oh, but Sugar can't quite get it done as the Cataclysm gives just enough damage for Syndra and her outplay button to get the kill.
Yes, I mean, the biggest issue Sylas had there was just staying. He was too far out of range, and he just
I don't think he had the mana either.
Really wanted that kill. I wasn't paying attention to the mana, so you most certainly could have been right there. But once again, kills going back and forth to both teams. It's 2-2. However, Odd here has a 800 gold advantage at this point in time, with most of it in the hands of Syndra.
Yeah, as it should be. Syndra's going to be one of your main carries that you really want to get ahead right now.
Yes, indeed. And there's also a very concerning note on the hands of RJS. Magi's.
Ooh, hold on. Bandit gets slain. Kill. And there's the pull back onto Prince. Amumu's there, but there's nothing that Amumu can do. A double kill for the MF and a well-played bait by the ADC.
Yes, indeed. With that there, I believe the Blitz and MF there played it about as perfectly as you could have, quite frankly. Potato dealt a lot more damage than what Bandit and Prince were expecting to see there. I mean, I wasn't expecting it either. It just was about like 10% health per shot. And it absolutely murdered both of the blue team here for RJS.
Yeah, it's going to be... It's not the end of the world here for RJS. They have a lot of league left to play. They still scale really well, but it's not the start that you wanted if you're RJS right now.
Yes. I mean, the main issue as well that I am seeing is Jhin. Jhin needs to get ahead to be able to do stuff. He needs his items. And
yes,
as of now, he's not on a great pace for it. He's got a 1 CS lead, but obviously that's not much in this state due to the fact MF, I don't believe, hasn't backed yet. She should still have a good amount of gold stocked up.
Sitting at about 730 gold right now, 740, 750.
Okay. So not horrible, but definitely enough to possibly finish another part of item, maybe even get item by her next back, which I am not confident Jin will be able to do.
Jin shouldn't be able to on the next back, MF so there's gonna be a slight item discrepancy there, as that is another really good trade by Misfortune in the mid lane. Is that just a kill?
My goodness. This Syndra is just getting farther and farther ahead. Very good play. I mean, there wasn't much Silas could have done there. He just got hauled out. The amount of damage potential on a Syndra is just very high. And also, the level advantage as well, I'm pretty sure, is a 2-level advantage in the mid lane at this point in time. And Silas just can't do anything about it.
And there's the eat by the Tahm Kench to throw him under tower. Now, because there's minions, it's not going to matter too much. But the damage coming through is there's the pull onto the Bandit. Bandit is getting banded himself.
Ult as well. Oh
good
my
Good sidestep by
lord.
OddApple, but there's going to be the flash forward with the kill. That, I mean, but look, they get the kill on the Bandit, but they still can't get a turret plate because of the wave clear of Hui.
Yes. And also, I noticed a very interesting thing.
Oh my goodness.
The actual item. God, that is half health immediately. That is just disgusting. With that, they should be able to secure these grubs. Even though Jarvan is just fighting his way around. One grub is already secured by RGS here. And the other two should be secured by Odd. As long as nothing surprising happens.
Yeah, they should have no problems securing these last 2 grubs. And that's going to be a good look for them as they're looking to really get into the middle of everything. Is good sidestep on that. Oh, that's just another dead Silas once again. Really well played.
That one, nothing he could have done. Because, I mean, honestly, unfortunately, Blitzcrank missed the hook. It happens. And then additionally, he just decided, I don't care if I missed it. I am going to sprint in and just ult you, as well as hit the E and knock him up. So beautiful play coming out from both members of Odd there. And quite frankly, they couldn't have done it better.
No, now Malphite getting stunned up. The tongue lashes hurt, and they heal a little bit too when they land. So keep that in mind. This Tahm Kench is a formidable foe in lane.
Quite frankly, it's been a very long time since I see him in top lane because he's just taken over the support role as just like all around. Quite frankly, I haven't seen him anywhere else in probably 2 years, give or take.
Oh, Ammonarch's now going to be top side. They're going to be going after Bossman here, who does not have flash. There's the unstoppable force, the flag and drag, and that should be. There's the heal coming out. There's the gray health as well, trying to get away. Will actually be able to get under their tower and stay alive. But now, in this bot lane here, JFS looking for a hook, not able to find one just yet. As they are being forced under tower on the side of RJS just because of the power of the Blitz and Misfortune.
Yes, indeed. I mean, as soon as one kill was given to the hands of Potato and JFS, it's basically over, quite frankly, just due to the amount of pressure
Bossman, you are low on health and taking a full wave of damage.
Say hello to Jarvan. That is textbook ganked. Just only negative I have there is correct. A flash had to be used, but I do believe it was worth it.
Yeah, he flag and drag flash to make sure he could get on top, and it was just so clean.
And I'm so surprised that you actually are able to remember the names of all these abilities. I am having a horrendous time, and oh my, Silas.
Yeah, that's just going to be happening now.
Yes, at this point, quite frankly, I don't mean any BM for this, but quite frankly, Soul Stealer should be sold at this point.
Yeah, it's
not going to be doing you well. I know you most certainly can get kills later on, but you just need a burst in something at this point in time. So it's worth the sacrifice.
We're doubling the CS of the Silas's Syndra right now as the hook barely goes wide. Deadly Flourish doesn't land either. All that Potato's going to get ulted, going to be throwing out the bullet time on top of that. TP behind, careful now. His Bandit's quite low, they're going to be going on to Prince. It's going to be Tahm Kench, flash forward. Oh my goodness, things are so fine margins as Bandit's quite low, has to be careful. Bossman also Yes, you're full health, but this is a very fed Syndra you have to be careful with. Is that
indeed,
Blitz? No, that's Malphite. I was gonna say that's not Blitzcrank. They're dead.
And then also, I was noticing
Wait, hold on.
moves.
Turret destroyed in the bot side as they just kept pressuring, and
they just took it.
Yeah, there's nothing that RJS can do.
Yeah, Mom played that really well as well. On top of that, like you could just see the moves that was happening. Just beautiful dodges all around and beautiful abilities all around. Good stuff, quite frankly. I realize I'm saying all around and beautiful too much, but it's just good looking.
It's really well played so far by Odd. They're playing through the lanes that they know they need to play through. They're leaving Malphite on an island, knowing that they're going to scale up just fine. The Scout of the Week lands onto Bandit. There is the ultimate outplay button available, but it's not going to be used just yet, as they're not quite low health. So you have a slight skirmish on the top side here, but nothing. It's a wet noodle fight at this point.
Correct. They're just having fun, measuring about, throwing some rocks at each other, and just having an all-around good time. He's getting a little bit too close for comfort, in my opinion.
Ooh, flash away from the Odd Apple. Doesn't have the mana for the Unstoppable Force just yet, as he's going to be eaten by Tahm Kench and getting taken quite low.
However,
has to
he
just
is
save up his
still
mana. Instead of throw the
alive.
Q, flash forward by Bossman. The Arcane to get the speed up is not going to be enough as he's stunned up. And his is just brutalizing up here as finally Bossman is not. No! He's finally going to get taken down, but
And
it's going
he
to be
is
a
gonna go-
trade! Oh,
Oh my
unfortunate.
goodness. I mean, not bad plays coming out, just you gotta know when to quit. Like, yes, you secured the kill, but trading for a kill is generally not worth it unless a shutdown is available. Like, yes, it was a fair trade, but I'm pretty sure you may have lost some minions and had to give it over to Hui, when me personally, I would have loved to keep them.
Yeah, I mean, there's no more turrets, no more tier 1 turrets for the side of RJS. And bounties are available for them. They need to start taking these bounties because they're
Actually,
dropping.
yes, there is. Top lane turret is still
top
there
lane.
for
I'm
now.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
good.
a hair's. It's gone. It's gone.
It's
for all
gone.
intents
Never
and
mind.
purposes.
I should have corrected you.
As that was a good sidestep on the Scout of the Week, but it's still not enough as he's going to get knocked up. He has the health to do so.
I love
He's building
Blitzcrank.
Warmogs. He's going to be nigh unkillable coming up soon, as he's going to be going over onto the Syndra here. The Scout of the Week goes wide, but it's not going to matter. Like, he's down to half health just because of the minions, but he's just going to be able to walk away
and
from
also
it.
because of the Syndra. Syndra just deals an absolute crap ton of damage that is just unaccountable
She
right
missed
now.
most of
Even
most
though,
of her stuff.
I mean, even with that, still a lot of damage. I mean, she already has 2 items, and most people on RJS
Flash
doesn't
forward by
even have one.
big fella Zane to get on top of Malphite. Now Malphite still has the Unstoppable Force. It has not been stolen by Cassante just yet. So something to keep in mind there. He's just trying to run away. The chains land as there's the Unstoppable Force. He's going to get under the tower. Big fella Zane's going to be following, and that's going to be the follow-up.
And there's another
Force to get
Unstoppable
the kill.
Force.
That's what makes Silas so broken, but he's so far behind, he really doesn't have damage yet. He just completed his Lich Bane finally.
Correct. I mean, with that as well. Actually, no, I was looking at another person. Apologies. Oh, my lord. Goodbye to Tahm Kench.
Yeah.
And then with that as well, we are having the T2B secured, and Silas actually secured the first tier 1, getting the bounty. But at this time, it's just not enough. They're at about a 7k gold disadvantage to the hands of Odd.
Mumu gets hooked away from All Out Potato, who's actually quite low, but the bullet time's going to come out. Prince is taken down to almost no HP as JFS has to flash away. Flag and drag into the Cataclysm onto Bandit. They're going to pull the Amumu right back, and that's just going to be a dead Amumu. Well played to Odd. Just perfect on those timings to make sure that they can pick up that kill and go back into the jungle to take out the rest of the jungle. It's just really well played.
Yes, indeed. I mean, Amoray got this 2 shockwave there, which, quite frankly, you don't see too horribly often, and it just trapped them in and made free pickings for the Blitzcrank to be able to secure the kill onto the Amumu, even though we say never try to hook tanks when they're that low. You gotta
Amumu's not
go
a tank.
for it.
He built Leandries.
Never mind. Nope, he is not a tank. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's there's only so of the success 4 on the Malphite that they're deaths, they're gold over to the other team, but it's a Malphite. He unstoppable forces and that's all he needs to do. And then 2 onto the Blitzcrank. All he has to do is ult and hook, and that's it. Hook, ult, and knock up. Once they do that, their usefulness as champions are done until they're back up. So the fact that those are the only two to have died so far and the rest are fed decently well is really good for the side of Odd.
Exactly as they should. Yeah. Yes. I mean, like, it's definitely not nice to die, obviously.
They're doing a T1 Baron right now. That's how far ahead they feel. Now, they are going to back away.
They are going to back off, yes.
Amumu gets a 3-man Curse of the Sad Mummy, and one of them is onto the Syndra, but it just does not matter. Syndra has so much damage. Unstoppable force towards Prince to keep them out of the fight as All Out Potato is fighting on the boss man. Flash away from the chains of Big Sugars. They have Cataclysm, but they're not in range to actually do it onto anybody just yet. Another Scout of the Week away, and it's just too much damage. It is an ace for 2.
Oh my goodness. With Odd there, quite frankly, you were seeing a very good turnaround coming from RJS with the Silence coming in from the actual mid lane and going through the river to secure the kill onto the MF was a very, very important kill, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, with how fed Syndra is, if you don't get her, you're out of luck.
And it's going to be a Hextech Rift. They're getting Soul Point here. It's not going to be... It shouldn't be contested because Amumu can't get there in time. And that's going to be a huge... That puts the game on a timer because if they get Hextech Soul, the game's just over.
Correct. I mean, more than likely, the game could still be over before that point, just due to the fact we're already having 3 members work up to the Baron just to get rid of all the wards and secure some free space. And with that, ooh, good dodge coming out from the Blitzcrank there. And quite frankly, I believe the best play for Odd here is actually just to secure this Baron, or at least fake secure it, re-secure some kills, and go from there.
Upon Scout of the Week onto Big Fella Zane, so he can't actually follow up on it. Now, Big Sugar has the
Blitzcrank ult for Silas. Yes.
As TheOddApple is going to be in the middle of it, the knock-up onto them, but Bandit is getting taken quite low, has to actually just sit back and use the curtain call. Going to be the first one slain. That's 2 down as Syndra and Blitzcrank both fall, but it's only a trade back, 2 for 2 so far, and Ammonarch's going to get... Oh, gee, that's damage right there. Goodbye. Prince is the only one left at this point, and they are going to die as well. A triple kill for the Malphite, a double kill for the MF, a full house of kills, and that should be Baron.
It most certainly should. Once again, you start getting very worried for Odd there, even though you know they have an absolutely 10k gold advantage, which is just absolutely dominating. Just, the kill potential on the side of RJS is still incredibly high, even though they're so far behind.
Oh, and here's the Herald coming out now because the
surprise Herald! And there's the TP as well. This is a very, very interesting Baron take.
It's going to be Tom Kench getting on to All Out Potato here, who should die to this. Yeah, they're dead now, as it was a little aggressive. The Baron is so low that they actually shouldn't be leaving this because they can keep it, and Ammonarch has to get back in before it goes down. Otherwise, it's going to be a flip. It's going to be a flip, and it's going to be stolen by Big Fella Zane. Now, Malphite is back looking for the kills, but there's just not enough damage now as Syndra's not here. Syndra is in the bot lane. It's only TheOddApple, and what a throw that was. You went full house Malphite high on the fight before that, and then you throw it on the next hand.
Throw it away.
Now, you do get a turret
about
in
as bad as the fight could have gone, quite frankly. I mean, you secured a turret bot lane, secured turret top lane, but you just gave away so much. Baron would have secured the game. Quite frankly, it's not a lost game at all. There's still a lot of League left to be played, but that just gives RJS here an opportunity to come back. When in reality, if we just stack up on the Baron there, we secure and it's game. You have to play safe for these ones. There's no point in playing dangerous. Quite frankly, they could have gone for a back as well and then re-engaged the Baron once again, because with that, they went 5-2 and they had more gold secured with that as well. So they could have just done it again and won the fight again.
Yeah, and I mean, they still have a lot of turrets to take on the side of RJS, which they should be focusing down here with this Baron. They should get both outer tier 1s that are left. They're focusing down the mid one now.
Yes, I mean, there is a possibility they actually do not take the top one just due to the way the power is shifted right now. They really want to secure the kill on the
Scatter the weak into the Oh, and yeah, goodbye. That's just a dead Silas once again. But this time, Big Fella Zane's way too far deep. Is going to go down to the Misfortune, hooked back by the Blitzcrank with the ultimate, and Prince just got deleted there. Now we have Cataclysm on the Bandit. There's just nowhere for Bandit to go, and now they're going to drop. They don't even need the Unstoppable Force here. And across the map, that's a 4 for 0. Across the map.
Yes. I mean, quite frankly, once again, it's just a swap of what actually happened. RJS thought they had advantage when in reality, you're 10k gold behind. You cannot fight like you are 5k gold ahead, or at least even. You can't fight like that. You can't even fight an even numbers game, quite frankly.
Now, this shouldn't be the end of the game.
Disadvantage.
They should back away here like this, and Dragon's up in 30 seconds. It is Hextech Dragon.
Points as well.
Yeah, this is something that they're gonna have to play with.
Oh my goodness, this might be interesting.
Scatter the Weak misses, but it does not matter, as he actually has to be eaten by Tom Kench just to be able to stay alive. The damage is insane. It does not matter, as Bossman's in the middle of 5. And it's just too much damage. Like, you don't have anybody to follow up. There's the Mummy going in that's just going to get deleted instantly. There's Tom Kench going by.
Well.
They don't even need Dragon. Like, really, realistically, at this point, you don't need Dragon. Just
I say it's still safe to go for it. You most certainly can force an end, because look, you already have the inhib getting pushed. But I'm one to always rather force.
Flash from Prince here, so that means that they're going to be going low here. They're going to be forced into their Nexus turrets as the Nexus turrets start to go down. That is a lot of damage. Going first as Big Sugar dashes away from the first hook from Blitzcrank, and Bandit gets hit by, it's a double Scout of the Week actually, as Big Sugar also goes down, but it's not enough as he's using the bullet time. Everybody's going on to him. Cataclysm, and he's just dead. The Zonya's Bandit's gone. Everybody's gone. It's up to Prince, and everyone's gone. Will be that. Ladies and gentlemen, Game 3 goes into reverse sweep to Odd in a dominating Game 3 fashion. What a game. What a series.
Once again, it is a absolutely beautiful game. Odd played this as perfectly as they could, quite frankly. Just getting ahead, playing the lanes they needed, and just playing that advantage. I mean, we saw that Baron play that played very negatively, but it just wasn't enough to make up for that 10k gold difference. It was just an unfortunate chain of events for Rift Jobs there that slowly led them down that hill, and then, you know, you had that slight hope and disappeared.
It boiled down to Syndra just having an amazing game in that mid lane that shut down the Silas. I mean, 5-0 in lane is nigh impossible to come back from. And yes, they had some opportunities. It just wasn't enough for them to fully be back into this game, to dish out the damage they need to. You can see even that in that last fight that they had, they did 0 damage, it felt like.
Yes, and also they were desperate. Right there, you saw the catfish go all the way in, which I respect at times, but not in that way. And then you also had the Amumu going at different times. If you would have both gone at the same times, I wouldn't be making fun of you nearly as much.
And there wasn't a Curse of the Sad Mummy to go out either. In that last fight, there was no Curse of the Sad Mummy. There was, I don't even think Curtain Call was back off a cooldown, and if it was, they never used it.
They actually did use the Curtain Call in that last fight. However, it was when they were very high up on health, so it just didn't.
It was negligible.
Execution bonus, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, these key ultimates just not being used effectively in that last fight. The desynchronous engage meant that they just got absolutely blasted in that last fight, unfortunately for them.
Correct. Yes, I believe that last fight mainly boiled down to a attempt of like desperation, because you really, really, really know you need to make a play, but you just can't under those conditions. You have to be very, very specific with your picks and fighting on that, and that just wasn't it.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude the broadcast for this evening. The Odd Apples took a 2-1 reverse sweep victory over Rift Jobs in tonight's Draft League matchup. My name was Ice Fireeyed. I was joined by Lowacki, and I want to thank Risen, I want to thank the teams, and I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening for what was an incredible matchup. And we'll see you tomorrow. We have 2 streams, so keep that in mind. We have Rampage and we have Unstoppable both at the same time. You'll see Unstoppable on this stream. On Risen 2, you'll find me on the Rampage stream. So keep that in mind for tomorrow, and we'll catch you on the next stream.